We've done two classes on this particular course so far. So this will be the third one. And in those two classes we've talked about listening as a topic. We've talked about the skills you need in listening. We've talked about listening and comprehension. And we also talk about the method of writing headings and subheadings, the do's and don'ts of writing. If you need the recording, you just go to it. That's why I said every one of us should be on that YouTube channel. That is where we post most of our things. So go to the YouTube channel and watch it. So let's move on to what we have today without wasting our time. Today, we will be talking about listening comprehension, still under that same listening comprehension, but today our concern will be information retrieval and using the general method. Information retrieval using the general method. That is what we are concerned about today. Information retrieval using the general method under listening comprehension. And under this particular unit, we'll be talking about the types of information to be retrieved. We have instructions, directions, and facts. That is where you start learning from. What are the types of information that you need to retrieve? When we say retrieval, that means you've recorded it before, whether in your brain or anywhere, but you need to recall it when it is useful. Possibly you've read for exam. Now, when you are in the front of the system during the exam, you now need to retrieve information that you've gathered before. That is the meaning of retrieval. So you need to retrieve them by bringing them back to your memory. So from your memory, bring them back to your present, so that you can use them for whatsoever you want to use them for. So we'll be talking about instructions. Yes, I may need to retrieve an instruction given to me, possibly while you are in, let's say you just came into town and you met a friend, a long time friend, an old flame, and the intention was to go to the person's house after eating in the eatery, and the person suddenly, got an emergency call, so he would not be able to follow you to the house, and he now gives you instruction that when you get home, this my key is a remote key. This is the key you are going to press to open the gate. When you get to the main door, this is the one you will press, and then when you want to lock it back, this is one you press. The person has given you instruction. At that instance, you've received it. But when you get to the house, to the gate, you will need to retrieve the information that you've gotten before, which is instruction on how to operate the remote and open the gate and access the building. Is that not so? So you will now recall. By recalling, you will practice what you heard as an instruction from the owner of the house, and the door will be open to you. You'll be able to access it. You can also retrieve directions. For instance, you are new in town, and when you get to a particular area, you got lost. Then you ask someone, please, how may I get to so and so address? Now the person instructed you and gave you direction. I say, when you go north, go 260 degrees north, no, turn left, turn right, then you see the building. Now you've gotten direction from the person. When you get to the next junction where you have to make a turn, you will need to retrieve that directional information that you received before in order to be able to carry out the activity of locating the building. You can also retrieve facts, like when you are writing the exams. When you've read some facts in the book that 2 plus 2 is 4, that is a fact. That 2 plus 2 is 4. When you get to an exam and you see 2 plus 2 in your front, you need to retrieve that fact that in the real sense, 2 plus 2 is 4. So my answer should be 4. So I have just done a summary of the whole thing that we want to talk about. And we also talk about listening for general impression. Listening for general impression. I hope you guys are still here, and can you still hear me? Okay, we have Mary Thomas and Jonathan. Are you still here, and can you hear me? Let it not be that I'm speaking to myself. I need you to unmute and... All right, okay. So let's proceed to the main deal of the day. In the introduction, we said that in the previous unit, you learned about an important skill. They need that is a skill of note taking from lectures, seminars, speeches, or talks. Note taking is a skill that you must use all the time. This unit moves you to another aspect of listening comprehension. This is listening comprehension for information retrieval. The word retrieval is formed from the word retrieve. These are things you have to put in mind in case you meet them in the exam, which means receive. Retriever is formed from what? Retrieve, which means receive. From retrieve, we got retriever, and the whole meaning is receive, to receive something. One of the primary aims of academic pursuit is to receive information. That's another important word here. One of the primary aims of academic pursuit is dash, to receive information. And the meaning of retrieval is to receive, and it was gotten from the word retrieve. Indeed, today, a lot of information is stored in what we call multimedia system, like radio, television, video, internet, and computer. Of course, if you go to a meeting now, you will not need to do all the writing. If you don't want to stress yourself, what do? You on your sound recorder on your phone, you record the whole thing, and when you get home, you can decide to start jotting it down if you want to write down in your jotter, to write the minute of the meeting. You can start writing it just by playing and pausing. You play, so you play, you pause. When you get confused, you listen backward and forward, and so on and so forth. So for us to record information in this our generation is a whole lot easier than the previous generation. Now, that will amount to ignorance for any student like you not to tap them. Now, information highways across the world are congested. What it means that the medium of information all over the world, they are congested, means that a lot of traffic there, a lot of people are loaded on the highways. Now, only the wise like you can retrieve them. This is why this unit and the next one are important to you. Now, get ready to study the unit. Have with you a paper, pen, but those are unnecessary for us here. Now, what is the objective? For you to be able to, at the end of this class today, if you are not able to state the types of information that we need to retrieve through listening comprehension, then you have not attended the class. If you are not able to retrieve the information through listening comprehension, then you have not attended the class. Now, what are the types of information to be retrieved? We have three of them: instructions, directions, and facts, like I've explained earlier. Now, academic life is full of different kinds of information. You must spend most of your time acquiring these information types from respective social life and academic fields. Basically, you can break the world of information into different segments. Only the three general ones will be discussed in this section. These are instructions, directions, and facts. What they are trying to say here is that it is not only instructions, directions, and facts that are the types of information that we have in the word setting. We have a whole lot of them. But for the purpose of this study of this material, we are only concerned about the three that are listed here: retrieving information in the format of instruction, directions, and facts. Now, instructions are given in the forms of commands, steps, procedures, and process. So when you see in your exams that dash are given in the form of commands, steps, procedures, and process, you know that what they're asking you is what? Instructions, not instruction. Instructions, because we have a plural this here, are given in form of commands, steps, procedures, and process. Please, let's read it together. Every one of us unmute. If you are still here, unmute yourself and let's take it together. It's very important you know it. Instructions are given in the form of commands, steps, procedures, and process. Is Mary Thomas here? Let's unmute and read it together. Yes, 1, 2, go.
Instructions are given in form of commands, steps, procedures, and process.
Good. So we are following. That is it. So let's leave all this blah blah blah. Those are stories. Now, okay, let's leave that. Now let's look at instruction as a whole, as a topic on its own. When we talk about receiving information as instruction? What kind of information comes as instruction? I gave a typical example when introducing this unit earlier on, but let's see what instructions, what type of activities can you undergo that will say that you were given instruction. One, do not use wrong connections. That's an instruction. Don't forget, they say they come in form of what? A command. Instruction comes in form. What the purpose of this is that by the time you are through with this unit, when you are asked to, identify a particular statement, whether it is an instruction or a direction or a fact, you should be able to do it professionally without having some doubts. Or is this one instruction or is it fact? No. Instruction, that is why they gave that definition first, that instruction may be in form of what? Are given in form of command, steps to take to do something, or the procedures and process that you need to assess or assimilate something. So now, examples of instruction: do not use wrong connections, do not cover the ventilation hose, leave an adequate open space behind the TV set, do not place this set in confined spaces, never remove the back of the cabinet, do not place the television equipment on an unstable cart and stand or table. Now, one example of instruction is when you buy a new gadget. The user manual is always full of what? Instructions. They will look like commands, but they're telling you what to do in order to, help preserve the lifespan of that gadget. So instructional manuals are always found in new gadgets when you buy them. And this one is just for a television set, how to set up a television, and you see several instructions there. So the idea is to help you recognize when a statement is what? An instruction. One is that it will sound like a command. It will come in form of a command or a procedure that when you do this, do this, do this. That is instruction or a process. Now, the next one is directions are also given in form of steps to be taken. When you hear sentences beginning with verbs such as do, do not, leave, position, use, etc., know that useful information in form of instruction is about to be given. So when you will see this question in the exam that sentences beginning with verbs such as do, do not, leave, position, use, etc., are examples of dash sentences. They are examples of what? Instructions, information given in form of instruction. So let's go to information given in form of steps. Directions are also given in form of steps to be taken. Like, for example, here we have 40 kilometers north of the capital city, bounded by hill in the west. This is a direction. So if I'm going to this place now, you've given me this direction, I will know when I get there. By lake in the east, fertile green land by the south. You know the cardinal points where we have the north, the south, east, and west. Once you hear the mentions of those cardinal points, you know that they are talking about direction. Directions are vital information. They place you in proper perspectives regarding location, situation, time, and place. So when you ask what part of information retrieval system, places you in the right perspective of location, situation, time, and place, they are talking of direction. Directions. Now, you need directions in order to function effectively in real life. Directions are also important in academic life. Wrong directions may make a doctor kill his patient, an engineer construct a collapsed bridge, and a teacher to mislead a child for life. That is how important directions are to human life. So once somebody is given a wrong direction like this, it may, cause a whole lot of damage to the whole lifestyle, should I say lifespan or lifestyle of that person. So we're talking about instruction, we're talking about direction. Now I want to talk about facts, information given in form of fact. These are regarded as true information. They are not lies. They are not fabricated. Although there can be wrong facts, yes, facts are also real events, not fable or untrue story. You can take fact to mean a piece of information that is known to be true or real. You can take dash to mean a piece of information that is known to be true or real. Fact. It also emphasizes something that is true. It is the basic detail or impression of a situation or issue. Indeed, fact connotes situations or events that really happen. Since academic and social life work on facts, truth, accepted norms, and inventions, listening comprehension regards facts as a primary source of information. Now, when we talk about facts, those are things we already know that are somehow real. If we tell you now that when NEPA bring lights or when NEPA restore the electricity, there will be illumination in the room. That is true. That is fact. That is just a fact. Somebody will tell you, okay, those kind of statements that they tell you that you say, don't I know before? Those are facts. When somebody tell you something and there is this urge in you to ask that, do I tell you that I don't know that before? Those are the things we call facts. They feel like true things. Like you just say something that is real, that is true. Now, the most difficult task in listening comprehension is to be able to distinguish between facts from, and fables. Distinguish facts from fables. You know, fables are just like babbling. Facts from opinions. True from untrue. Your views may differ from mine in what we regard as fact. That is true. And fables, untrue. And what we regard as fact and one's opinions, which may not be the opinions of others. It means that what we will call fact now, do you know that if we have an object now that is having one side, is having three shapes on one side and two shapes on the other side. If you tell two people to stand opposite each other and you place that object in between them, and you ask the person on the right side, let's say the three shaped is facing the right person, while the two shaped side is facing the left-sided person. Now, if you ask the person on the right side, how many shapes is this object having? The person will tell you it's having three shapes. But if you ask the other person standing on the other side, on the left side, how many shapes? The person will say two shapes. Now, there will be an argument between the two of them. This is having two shapes, but if you switch their position, they will have different opinions. So that is how facts look like. What is fact here? If you say something here and think it's true, you go to another place, somebody may argue with you and we will almost be fighting with you that I know what I'm saying. So that is the issue of that's why they say is the most. Now, the main thing you should grab there is that when they ask you that the most difficult task in listening comprehension is to be able to distinguish dash from dash, facts from fables. So that is it. Do we have any question on what we've done so far? Do we have any question?
Sorry, sir. Mine might not be related to what we have done now, but it's still about this course.
All right, I'm with you.
So, after this class is now, it seems you're recording the class. After the class is now, how do you access the recorded class, please?
Oh, I used to drop it on my YouTube. So you watch it there. I'll drop the link after the class. I'll upload it on the YouTube. You watch it there. So
Okay, I also need the link for YouTube so I can subscribe to it.
Yes, I used to drop it. I will drop it in the group when I'm done. The other classes we've done too, they are there. The class 1, class 2, that covers the first part of the material. So
Okay, all right, thank you.
You're welcome. So we're having listening for general impression. That's if we can do that in these 3 minutes that is remaining. There are types of listening comprehension that are not restricted to instruction, directions, or facts. They are listening comprehension that demand getting the overall or general impression of what the speaker says. Thus, in such a listening activity, You link all details to the topic and form your own overall impression. I don't know if you have ever experienced this. You are in, let's say, you are under a speaker or under a sermon or a speech, and the speaker is, maybe expounding a topic, maybe using maybe the person is an expositor, using the expository method of essay or whatever to teach you something. So the person has given you the topic and you are writing, and you find out that most of the things you are writing down, they are your own words. Like you've processed even far more than what the person understood, you've written down. I don't know if some of you have experienced that before. The person, it will now look as if the speaker has spoken on one part of the topic. You have written down on several other parts of the topic, because it seems like it's a topic you are interested in or you know much about. It used to happen like that sometimes, especially those of you that are Christians. Sometimes when your pastor say a topic and start teaching or preaching on it, you find out that you already jot down so much more than what the person is even saying, or far more impressive than what the person is saying. That means you've listened to the person and you formed your own impression of what the person is saying based on your own experience, expertise, intelligence, or anything. So now, when you listen in that kind of format, what you are doing is you are listening for general impression. That one is not listening to take facts or to take direction or to take instruction from the speaker. You've listened, you've processed, you've generalized that thing, you've linked it to your own life, to things happening around you before you jot down. So that is listening for general impression. So I think we've covered this material. We are just to take questions now. The topic we want to deliberate on today. Let me see if now, to gain general impression in listening activities, you should. We will not rush it. We can't take this today. Let's hold on. What was the time? 6:44. Okay. I want us to finish it. So I will start the class again. You can join back immediately. This one will end now. You can join back immediately. So let's finish this particular unit. I know we are done with it today.